As a person who has been born with a disability, I know what it's like to feel left out, and I don't want those kids and families to feel the same way as I did. So I just decided I gotta do events because I don't want them to be like me. And so that's how Spread Your Sunshine came to be.
Welcome to the DMF podcast, where you'll find great conversations with interesting people who have been called to serve. We'll meet impactful charities, dive deep into pressing health topics, and learn from servant leaders working to see, be, and spread light. At the end of each episode, we hope you're inspired to realize your own unlimited potential to change the world for the better. Join us as we work to create a region of the healthiest, most purpose-driven people on the planet. Welcome to the DMF podcast Lead with Light series, hosted by me, Pastor Devlin Brooks, the CEO of Churches United. In the Lead with Light series, we explore the program's curriculum, talking with vibrant leaders demonstrating the very principles we're teaching, and introducing you to a variety of opportunities to take advantage of this dynamic leadership program. And in this episode, we visited with Addie Loerzel, the founder of Spread Your Sunshine, a local nonprofit that was founded by a former little 7-year-old girl who had the determination and later dreamed that she could impact the lives of disadvantaged children through spreading her very own sunshine. You may remember Addie, the infectious teenager who captivated the Fargo-Moorhead community with her cupcake sales that featured all kinds of Disney princesses. Well, Addie has been busy putting that money that she has raised to good use all throughout the metro area. Are you ready to hear more from one of our community's most inspiring nonprofit founders? Excellent. Let's dig in. Well, good afternoon, Addie. Thank you for joining me.
It's nice to be here.
It is so great to have you here. And so in our introduction to this episode, I've shared some about you and my desire as to why I wanted to bring you in and discuss leadership today. Mm-hmm. But I'd love to dig a little bit deeper. Your name has been in the headlines in our community for several years now, right?
Yes, it has.
But I don't know that everybody knows the Addie behind that headline, right? And so I'd like to tell us more about Addie, would you?
Yeah. So I live in Moorhead, and I am a college student at NDSU, and I am the founder of Spread Your Sunshine.
Spread Your Sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you grow up in Moorhead?
I did, and I was born in Minneapolis, and I grew up here.
Okay. And so have you always lived in Moorhead since you got to the Fargo-Moorhead community?
Yes.
Yes. And did you attend school in Moorhead then?
I did.
Yeah. So you're a spud.
I am.
Once a spud, always a spud.
I consider myself not a spud anymore.
What?
I know. I consider myself now a bison. I know it sounds kind of weird, but
Addie, I'm not going to lie, that breaks my heart a little bit. So I will share this for the audience because it's a joy of mine. We're neighbors.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. And I get to walk by your house every night with my unruly dogs, and then we set your dog a barking.
Yes.
Yeah. And we just cause a whole commotion in the neighborhood, don't we?
Yeah. Some of our neighbors might be a little mad, but whatever.
I've joked with you before that you know what time of night it is because as we come by, if your dog gets excited, you know that that's the time of night we come by, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. So you have shared with me before that your dream is to open a restaurant, correct?
Yes, it is.
So I want to go there first, and then we are going to circle back to Spread Your Sunshine because I think they're related, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about your dream.
I really want to open my own restaurant. Hopefully we'll be able to employ others with disabilities because I feel like we, like the kids that we serve, don't get too much, and I want to change that. So I would want to have people with disabilities be with my restaurant and be able to have like those skills. Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
So what are you pursuing in school that's going to help you make this dream come true?
I take some classes, like business classes.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky because my program at NDSU is very good and making sure I succeed and making sure they help me the best way they can.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
How did you decide on NDSU?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. NDSU is the only one I've really looked at that doesn't demand you to stay at a dorm.
Okay.
And so I kind of like knew that I wanted to stay home. So NDSU it is.
I like that.
Yes.
I just hear all of the NDSU marketing people, like, they're just cheering right now. Man.
Yeah, I can hear definitely.
Yeah, they're going to be reaching out to you now.
Yes, they are.
All right. So you want to open a restaurant. You want to serve those with disabilities and help them gain employment.
Yes.
Build skills.
Yes.
Addie, can you share with us why that's important to you?
It's always just been important to me because, like, people with disabilities, they deserve to have the same experience as people without, because we want, like, the same exact things, and we don't deserve to be treated less than other people.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you. So earlier, before we hopped on the podcast, right,
Yes.
We discussed Lead with Light.
Yes.
Dakota Medical Foundation's intense focus on trying to generate others who lead with light, right?
Yes.
This initiative is to grow leaders in our region, not only in the nonprofit space, but elsewhere, right? And we want leaders who lead with light. And that's why I asked you on this podcast.
Yeah.
I've shared with you that you inspire me and I think you lead with light. So tell me about Spread Your Sunshine.
Yeah, so I started it to basically, we met with the homeless coordinator at Bright Sky Apartments, just attending to do a one-time event. And then we were chatting and we were like, oh, we gotta do more. And so one event turned into a whole nonprofit.
Whole nonprofit.
Yes.
Just like that, overnight, right?
Yes,
Easy peasy.
Just crazy.
So I have to unpack this a bit just because this is near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
You mentioned Bright Sky Apartments.
Yes.
Which is part of the overall umbrella of Churches United.
Yes.
And I get the good fortune of being the CEO at Churches United. So this is very special to me.
Yes. Yes.
To know that your story has some origins at one of our apartment buildings.
Yeah, it's so cool. I like it there.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
How long ago was this?
That was about 4 to 5 years ago.
4 to 5 years ago.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go back to that time, Addie. What made you think about doing an event at Bright Sky Apartments for kids who are less fortunate? What was the trigger? What pushed you into action?
As a person who has been born with a disability, I know what it's like to feel left out. And I don't want those kids and families to feel the same way as I did. So I just decided I gotta do events because I don't want them to be like me. And so that's how Spread Your Sunshine came to be. And doing events at Bright Sky Apartments.
Addie, you are sunshine. You know that?
Yes, yes.
So how did Bright Sky Apartments come to your attention?
So we met with a volunteer coordinator at Churches United. And when she told us, me and my mom, that they don't get a lot, I'm like, okay, yeah. Like doing events there, and then branching out was fun too. And like we've done other events because of Churches United and Bright Sky Apartments. We were able to go on and do other things too with other people.
As a pastor, that warms my heart, and I think immediately of the Holy Spirit kind of nudging you towards Bright Sky. Would that be a fair description?
Yep, that would definitely be a fair description. Definitely.
All right. Awesome. So you did the one event. Obviously, you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Obviously, the kids enjoyed it.
Yes, they did.
How does that grow into a foundation, Addie? Like, where did you go from that one event?
We started doing like multiple events, like more events like every month. And that was always just like so fun. I feel like all the people that come out kind of like help us like be like, oh, we want to do this more and have so much fun and have so much power and be like, we're doing so much good by helping these kids and their families out.
Yeah. Our audience can't see this, of course, but your mom's watching on, right?
Yeah, she is.
When you turned to her after that first event and said, we're going to do this more, what was your mom's reaction?
She was probably kind of surprised. She was a little surprised. She's like, oh, that's, if you want to do it more often, okay, but like, that's a little surprising.
Yeah. Yeah. You started to do the events more on a monthly basis.
Yes.
Like, when did the idea enter into your head that you needed to formalize this, that you needed a mechanism such as a foundation to help raise money and then spend money on these events? Like, what was that progression?
I guess like just us wanting to reach more kids and kind of like, oh, if we become a nonprofit, we can start funding to do more events. And that's how the nonprofit came.
Mm-hmm. So talk about some of those other events. I think you've made some headlines over the years for some of your other events outside of At Bright Sky.
Yeah.
One comes to mind, the Princess event, right? That
event
seems to, I think you caught a lot of people's attention with that. Tell us about that.
That was started by little 7-year-old me, and we started like just like a small cupcake stand with cupcakes, lemonade, cookies, and a few princesses, and then it became bigger and bigger, and on October 11th we're doing like a full-blown party and like having many princesses there and having cupcakes and desserts and baby pizza and other child stars like Bluey and Elmo, which kind of like Bluey's for adults too. but yeah, I'm excited for that. It's on October 11th.
So that's a yearly event, October 11th.
Yes.
Where is it being hosted?
It's going to be at Trinity Lutheran Church.
In Moorhead?
Yes.
Okay. And just in general, is that open to kids in the public then?
Yep, it's open to the public.
Yeah. And over the years, what started as a really small lemonade stand now has grown into a community party.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
All because little 7-year-old Addie.
It just has a little 7-year-old Addie.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you started that lemonade stand, did you have some idea that it would grow to this?
Of my 7-year-old self, probably not. I probably thought it was just going to be one time, but then I got more, and then I realized it's becoming more than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It brings you joy, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. And it's an amazing event for kids.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you for persevering.
Oh, thank you.
What else? Tell us over the years some of the other events that you've done through Spread Your Sunshine.
We partnered with Friends of the Children, and those are fun because we get to bring them out to the community and like do stuff with their mentors and friends. Be like, we had them at Skate City recently. We had them at Thunder Road, Kingpins. That was really fun. We're starting to do stuff with Jeremiah program, helping moms who are single, helping gain their life back and going to college and having a fun event with their children and their mothers. And there's so much. A Richmond program, which was started by my friend, Peter Ferguson. He's the dog.
There is a lot.
There is a lot.
And Addie, you don't charge, do you?
Nope.
You don't charge for anything.
Nope.
All of this is done through the hard work that you raise revenue through your foundation, and then you turn around and you give that as a gift to the children in our community.
Yes. Yes.
That is amazing.
Yes.
You are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I think this is a natural segue for me. We can't leave this section because we're talking about Spread the Sunshine.
Yes.
We can't leave this section without noting that very recently you were voted as the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo Chamber of Commerce Nonprofit of the Year.
Yep.
Tell me how that felt.
It was insane. We weren't even expecting it. My mom was like, you can skip over the third speech because I don't think we're going to get it. And we were top 3, and then we were suddenly the winners, and me and my mom and our board were like, what? And my mom was like, you get it together, you have to go up to the stage and give a speech. It was crazy because we were like, oh my God, it was insane.
So in that moment, it was very hard to believe?
Yeah, it was insane. Didn't think we were going to get it, but we did.
Yeah, and you needed your mom to remind you still had to give that speech.
Yes, because I was like, it was insane. It was insane.
In your wildest dreams, you started this nonprofit kind of with nothing. You've built it from the ground up.
Yes.
And your name gets called as the Chamber's Nonprofit of the Year.
Yes.
How does that feel?
Insane. And a little bit like, oh, we get to do more events with these kids. It would be an honor for them too.
Well, you are very humble. You are very humble. So a foundation does not get started by one person alone, right? It takes many hands.
Yes.
So tell us who helps with your foundation.
We have a board, and that consists of me, my mom, my aunt, and some friends. We also have a young board of directors with other kids too.
To talk about growing leaders, you're growing leaders right with your foundation.
Yes.
That's incredible. You're inspiring more Addies in the future.
Yeah, yes.
That's terrific. It's just like an army of do-gooding Addies out there.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So how do you spread the work out? Obviously, you can't be doing all of this yourself. So how as a team do you make this happen?
It was kind of crazy. We have like the most chill board ever, and they're just like kind of like fine with anything we throw at them. Be like, we want to help this group. Okay, yes, we'll have you help this group. And so they kind of like help us out to like know who we're going to help and people like that.
Sure. Are you the one that generates all the ideas, or do people come to you with ideas?
The people that we meet with, they ask us and we're like, okay. We'll ask the board and they're like, okay. And sometimes we'll ask them and they're okay with it, and then we'll run them past their board too.
That's great. I want to transition, Addie, specifically into leadership here and talk more about that from your perspective. But
yes.
First, I have to ask, so you're a college student.
Yes, I am.
You're very involved with your family.
Yes.
You have a lot of friends.
Yes.
Cupcakes,
yes.
Right? You're involved with cupcakes.
Yes.
You make a lot of cupcakes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're a foundation founder.
Yes.
Where do you find time for all of this, Addie?
I have no idea. I have no idea at all. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, but it's for a good cause. So it's always like worth being overwhelmed and stuff. Very, very, very worth it.
If you haven't already, head to BeLight.org to sign up for the monthly Lead with Light newsletter. While you're there, you can also find past editions on the Lead with Light blog and register for upcoming trainings. Also, be on the lookout for the official Lead with Light book, which will be released later this year. So the reward outweighs the risk is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Leadership. Can we talk leadership?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we came here today, right?
Yes.
Okay, get to it, Pastor Devlin, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've discussed the Lead with Light banner under the Dakota Medical Foundation focuses on leadership, and we're going to dive into that LIGHT acronym here a little bit later. But first off, what is being in a leadership position at Addie's Spread the Sunshine Foundation like? What is that like for you?
It's something that has its challenges, but also has its amazing outcomes, and it's always like gets a little hard, but then you realize, oh, we're helping a lot of people and kids, and it's worth that struggle and worth everything they've gone through.
Did you know in your own heart that you were a leader?
Yeah, I feel like I almost at the center and like being a leader. When it comes not being the leader, I'm not very good at it, but I just like being the leader. It's fun.
Being self-aware is really important, Addie. I like your transparency.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned it. It can't always be easy leading this foundation, in addition to the number of events that you hold and all of the logistics it takes to do that. So what are some of the challenges that you face?
It's just almost like a lot of responsibility being a leader, like make sure people listen to me. And I know that people do listen to me. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult when it's new people. And when it's new people, you don't always know that they're going to listen to you, but they end up listening to you. And that's always like very good. I'm lucky that people listen to me.
Obviously, as we progress through building something, not every step is forward, right? At some point in that journey, there's going to be a step back, or there's the old adage, right? Mm-hmm. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up, right? Right. So after you endured or experienced the difficulty, what is that process for you, and how do you get back in the game?
It takes some time and like getting back on the groove of things and getting back to like the space where you could lead in the best way possible, and you just keep on going until you get there. And that's kind of like my experience on it, is just like you just keep on going until you get to a space like very much like confident in yourself and very much willing to do something in a group effort. And it's also just a group effort as well.
Sounds like resetting your mind frame. That's important.
Yes.
Perseverance.
Yes.
Important.
Yes.
And teamwork.
Yes.
Yeah, all valuable?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's flip that coin. With everything challenging, there's the difficulties, but there's also the joy in leadership, right?
Yes.
What is joyous about leading Spread the Sunshine?
Seeing all the kids happy is always like the best part. Seeing all the families all down from their apartments is really cool. And seeing them like have their own victories in life, that's really cool too.
I know for a fact that at Bright Sky Apartments, you've been there so long, you know the kids by name, and they know you by name.
They do know me by name. They do.
That's incredible, Addie.
Yes.
That is a testament to your commitment to them, and I guess your dedication.
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. On this progression, obviously, we have ideas of how things are going to go, and then some time passes and we have to alter course, right? That's what a good leader does. What are some of the surprises that you've encountered kind of on this journey of building this foundation?
It was probably like a surprise to me would be how quick people are to like jump in and be like, oh, we would love for you to be at our event, or like, oh, we want you to have an event at our place. That's always been a little bit surprising, because I always thought I would have to like ask them, but they've asked us so many times where I was like, oh, they asked us this time? That's really cool. That one's just kind of been a little surprising.
Almost as if you don't even have to knock on the door anymore. They're just opening the doors for you.
Yes. That's always just crazy. That
is a great recollection. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, Addie, you must have known I was coming with this question. One of the things I admire about you is that you're very skilled at building partnerships with other organizations. Yes. You mentioned some earlier. You started at Bright Sky building a relationship with Churches United in the apartments there. You have partnered with many, many other nonprofit organizations in our community. Talk to me about that skill of yours. Was it natural, or is that something you've built over years?
It's natural. It's very natural. I feel like it's just like part of my personality and how I roll with things. Knowing that would be like something I could do is like, I just like knew right away, be like, oh, I could do this. And yeah, I think it was just like right away that realized that.
Well, you're very collaborative, and not everybody is as good at it as you are, Addie.
Yeah.
Is there anything in your life where you think that skill was learned, or was that just in you?
I feel like it was in me, and I've learned some stuff on the way too. And yeah, I think it was instant, but some of it was learned as well.
You're a natural at this. Right into the next question again. You and I have something in common in the sense that, we both lead nonprofits, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
From your perspective, how important is building leadership skills to those who run nonprofits?
I feel like it's very important because, you have to know how to lead to be able to have a nonprofit. If you can't lead, then you can't have your own nonprofit. And if you know how to lead, then your nonprofit's gonna go well. And if you don't, well, it's gonna go down.
Yeah, and from your standpoint, I think one of the things that you characterize, you can have passion, right? There's a lot of people that will chase something that they're passionate about and create a foundation to address that, right?
Yeah, yes.
But the work of being in a nonprofit goes beyond passion, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It takes skills as well.
Yes, it does.
It's not just all of the smiles from the kids at the programs that you put on, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of time behind the scenes, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Yes.
Talk about that a little bit. Many people probably see you out in front of these events, right? Either they catch a news clip or maybe they're at an event where you're at and they see that public-facing part. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of time that goes into this behind the scenes, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of behind the scenes and planning and knowing where you are going to be at a time and how long you're going to be there. Just telling people, oh, I'm going to be at this event, come see me, come say hi. And just being able to be there at an event is really fun too. And yeah, it just does take a lot of planning.
And for your events, there's multiple components, right?
Yes.
I mean, you quite often or always provide food is quite often a better description? Or do you almost always provide food as well? Some kind of treat? There
is some kind of treat always at the event, I feel like, yeah.
And then generally, there's multiple people involved. You bring a team with you.
Yes.
You bring your Addie's squad, right?
Yes.
Yeah? Do you call them a squad? Did I just invent that?
We just call them the Hughes. That's their last name, Hughes.
Shout out to the Hughes, right?
To the Hughes, yes.
I like that. The Hughes. All right. You have your pit crew, so to speak, right? They come with, and you have to manage that. There's the logistics of things, and then there's the marketing piece, right?
Yes.
Which is probably a little bit easier now that you're a celebrity.
Well, counting money is still a challenge for me.
Sure.
And I don't think, no matter how hard I try to learn, I always am just struggling.
Yeah.
Hard.
You know what? I got a secret for you, Addie.
Yeah.
There's people for that. You just shine the light.
Yeah.
Let the other people count the money.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes.
You and I think alike.
Yeah, we do.
All right. So there's people behind the scenes counting money. There's people helping with the logistics. There's people making sure that there's food. You often have other partners involved from the costume standpoint, right?
Yes.
So I guess not to belabor the point, but there is a lot of behind the scenes hours that goes into the events for Spread Your Sunshine.
Yes.
How many hours a week are you putting at this?
I'm not sure how many hours. I feel like there's a lot of hours that I've never really counted.
And then there's people around you that spend a lot of hours on the foundation as well.
Yeah, they do.
Right? Yeah. Going back to kind of that original premise that we were talking about, right? There's the thrill of starting a foundation about something that you're very passionate about. But then there's also the reality that this is also work, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't even feel like work to me. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't.
That's fair. That is fair. From a leader standpoint, Addie, tell me some of the things that you've learned in your journey as leading this nonprofit that would lead to advice for others in the nonprofit world.
I feel like always leading with kindness, perseverance. You kind of have to like be ready for what comes your way, and
I love that one.
just know that your work is being received very good.
Take away all of the TV stories and the newspaper stories that have been done about you over the years. Take away all of that. Would this still be as joyful for you?
Yeah, I would feel like it would be, pretty joyful still.
Because it's the work.
Yes, it is.
It's the work.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Do you have any idea, Addie? I mean, just ballpark figure. Like, how many kids have been at your events over the years?
So many. There's been quite a few.
I mean, we're talking probably into the thousands, right? I mean, if you took all of your events, added up all the kids.
Yeah.
That's thousands of lives you've impacted.
Yeah, I would say that.
When I say that back to you, thousands of lives you've impacted, what do you think about that?
That's crazy. That's a huge number. There's going to be more kids that we help too over the years.
That's a promise. I heard that. There's more to come. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Every leader, they're not just thinking about the now, right? They're thinking about the tomorrow.
Yes.
What does tomorrow mean for Spread the Sunshine?
Helping more kids and families and having a lot of parties and helping them get out to the community more.
I just have to ask, Addie, how does your mom get anything else done? You've got her roped into a lot of things.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
She's like working for you full time.
I don't know how she does it. It must be difficult.
But that's probably another leadership principle, right? You have to surround yourself with the people that are committed to the cause.
Yes.
Yeah. What haven't you accomplished with your foundation that you still want to accomplish?
I feel like we've done a lot. We recently went to West Fargo and we went to a retirement home. I kind of wanted to start helping like older folks too. I feel like that would be fun. And we were like touring around and we can still connect kids because right next door there is a place for families and kids. And so we have events at the retirement home. Kids can come out and play and the people can watch the kids play too.
So it's like a multi-generational event.
Yeah.
That is incredible. So
Yes.
was that your idea?
Yeah, we got it pitched to us to start helping older folks too, and she was like, okay, that's your nonprofit. And so I was like, okay, we'll help with the older folks too.
That's incredible. Your mission is growing.
Yes, it is.
So one of the things that I like to talk to folks about on this podcast is oftentimes as kids are coming through school and they're kind of defining who it is and who they want to be and where they're going into college and beyond. I don't think we often lift up nonprofit work in our high schools or with our kids because there's kind of this idea that we're chasing the big dreams, right? But talk about how rewarding it is to work in the nonprofit space.
I think it's really rewarding and it's really cool to see the families' faces when we have kids that come downstairs early and have their faces swished up against the glass waiting for us to open the door for us to come have our event. And that's always kind of funny and also very heartwarming at the same time. And I just think it's just really, really cool and rewarding.
It's got to be really hard to leave an event like that without a smile on your face.
Yes.
When the kids are so excited and they anticipate this so much that they're like standing outside the community room, like just banging on the window, ready to get into your event, right?
Yeah, literally. Big, big, big. It's so fun.
This hasn't gotten old for you at all, has it?
No, it's so fun. So fun.
Quick shout out. This is your opportunity. You have many people that surround you that make this possible.
Yes.
So who else is on your team?
My aunt Jessica, our friends Lisa and Jeremy, and they're on our board and they help out with the events sometimes. And that's who I give a shout out to.
It's always important to thank those that are in this fight with us, right?
Yes.
How does someone reach out to you to collaborate with you, Addie?
They reach out through email, and then we set up a time to meet with them at their place and meet up about like how we could help and stuff, and we just talk about what we can do.
Okay.
Yes.
And can they find that information on your website or Facebook, or what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I feel like the best way is through social media.
Okay.
If you want to volunteer, we do have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
You can follow us at Spread Your Sunshine on Facebook.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So Addie's Spread Your Sunshine?
Or just Spread Your Sunshine.
Spread Your Sunshine on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Okay. And they can reach out to you there?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. And you're always looking for collaborators, right?
Yes, all the time.
We're going to move into a segment. This is how we always close these, right?
Okay.
We've talked about the acronym LIGHT, right?
Yes.
That'll stand for different principles of leadership. So before we get to that, okay, I'm just going to prepare you for that. But best piece of advice someone has given you about being a leader?
Do it if you love it, and
I think that's a pretty good one.
yeah, you do it if you love it.
Right?
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that sometimes you don't feel like this is work.
Yeah.
Right?
It just feels like fun.
Yeah, that
Feels like
comes
play.
from loving it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so do it if you love it.
Yes.
So we don't do every letter with every guest just simply because that gets to be a long list, right? But
Yeah.
I chose 3 letters that I think kind of speak to you. So
Okay.
the idea is I'm going to read the principle that's based in the acronym,
Okay.
and I just want your quick thought about what that means to you as leader. Okay?
Perfect.
All right. So G, galvanizing gratitude. Tell me the importance about living as a grateful leader.
I think living as a grateful leader is important because you have to be grateful for what you have and what you've got. You kind of have to be grateful to be able to be a good leader too.
Amen. I like that.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to jump back. L in the acronym. The L signifies leading with hope and vision. Addie, what's important about hope and vision?
Hope is like very important because without hope, life I feel like has no meaning. And leading is just so like you get to lead and you can bring that hope with you as well.
So you transfer that hope to others.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's being a light, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we're going to finish this. We're going to bring it home with I, and the I stands for instilling purpose and meaning in all we do. Where do you find purpose and meaning in the work that you do with Spread Your Sunshine?
Meaning is like having a purpose to do something, and having that is super important because it gives life meaning, and having that is the best that you can to get the people that you serve together and helping them have as much fun as possible.
It's a pretty good reason to get up in the morning, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Addie, this has simply been a joy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for agreeing to this. Is there anything that you thought about in anticipation of this interview that we didn't get to?
I just want to say, like, this has been fun, and I've enjoyed it. It's awesome.
I've enjoyed it immensely
yes.
myself. I think our audience is going to enjoy it too.
Yes, they're going to love it. You guys are going to love this.
Yeah. Addie, thank you so much. And you know what? When I walk by your house tonight, your dog's going to let you know what time it is.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'll make sure they bark loud.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too.
We do ourselves and our communities a disservice when we limit our idea of who a leader is. In fact, we do so at our own peril, as so many unexpected leaders have demonstrated throughout history. Leadership doesn't only come from those who hold high offices or run large companies or who have large followings. Some leaders quietly change the world one event, one room full of children at a time. Addie Loerzel is one of those kinds of leaders. A Moorhead 19-year-old who now attends college at North Dakota State University and a former Moorhead High School spud. Addie is the founder of Spread Your Sunshine, a nonprofit that holds celebrations and other fun events for children in our community who are disadvantaged. Nowadays, many in Fargo-Moorhead are likely aware of who Addie is because she's received a lot of media attention over the years for her efforts. But years ago, Addie was just a 7-year-old girl with a dream. She wanted to operate a lemonade and cupcake stand to raise money to help others. Years later, that same determination would lead Addie to founding her own nonprofit after holding a celebration for the families who live at Bright Sky Apartments in Moorhead. This is a place that holds a special place in my heart, of course, as it is a supportive housing building that is part of the Churches United umbrella organization. Addie says that very first event hooked her. When she saw the joy that her party brought to the children living at Bright Sky Apartments, she knew she wanted to do more. The dream was launched, a nonprofit was born, and she now not only hosts monthly events at Bright Sky Apartments, but with many other local organizations who serve disadvantaged children as well. It's safe to say that Addie has positively impacted hundreds of children in our community. But Addie's not done yet. When she wraps up her degree at NDSU, she has her sights set on opening her own restaurant that will employ others with disabilities because she wants to give even more people the opportunity to grow professionally and utilize their skills. To me, Addie is an inspiration. Someone who hasn't allowed the world to define who she is or what she can accomplish. With fierce determination, she set out to make other children's lives brighter and happier by bringing sunshine to those who maybe don't receive a lot of those happy rays. Addie set out to prove that someone who cares can spread sunshine and address the social needs of children who face economic disadvantages so that they too can create happy memories, regardless of their circumstances. And that is a leader. Too often, we think leadership is about what happens in the boardrooms of big business, or in the political chambers of our state and national capitals, or in the entertainment channels where the loudest voice gets recognized. When in actuality, leadership is quietly taking place in thousands of small nonprofits that were founded by someone who had the heart, the drive, and the commitment to make a difference in someone else's life. Addie has done that in our community. She continues to do that in our community. Addie is an inspiring leader who can teach us all a lot about what it means to lead. I am a huge Addie fan, and I can't wait to be there on the day she opens her restaurant. I want to be the first in line. Go Addie. This is Pastor Devlin Brooks of Churches United on the DMF podcast series, Lead with Light. Remember, we are all called to serve by seeing light, being light, and spreading light. Amen.